Hi, welcome to today's topic. Today we are going to talk about aflatoxin, the dog killer. So aflatoxin is a poison that is produced when some form of fungi or moths grow in a favorable environment. And this environment includes a warm and humid or high moisture content level, especially in some farm produce like peanut butter, like soya, like maize, and other cereals. So when they are affected, they get a rotting environment. And aflatoxin kills dogs. It's a very serious killer of dogs, but it also affects other mammals. Mammals are like livestock and human beings, and also birds like chicken. So the severity of aflatoxin depends on many factors. One of them is the species. You find that the dog is affected more than the other species by even a smaller amount of aflatoxin in the food. The severity is also affected by age. Even in dogs, you'll find that puppies and older dogs and pregnant ones, they get the severe form of the disease. Of course, sex is another factor that affects the severity, with males being more affected than females. The nutritional status and the body condition of an animal is another factor that affects the severity. And you find that animals in better body condition are affected less than those which are in poor body condition. The amount of aflatoxin and the duration of taking of aflatoxin also affects the severity. You find that if animals are affected within a short time, maybe 1 meal, by high levels of aflatoxin, they are likely to come up with the chronic form of the disease. Whereas animals that are affected by small amounts for a very long period, they come up with the chronic condition. So one might wonder why we are talking about aflatoxin, especially in dogs, in this channel that is mainly dedicated to agricultural extension. And the answers are many. One of them is that dogs are part and parcel of the farm. They improve food security by securing the farmer and his or her property. They also eat food that is produced through agriculture. And if anything that is used to or is consumed to improve the health of an animal or a person, and it affects it, then it can be discussed here. And agriculture is about food, feed, and fiber production. So anything that goes wrong with those three or right can be discussed in this channel. You also find that dogs and human beings share some common ingredients like maize flour in their food. And therefore, if you find that dogs in a population are affected, it is an early warning system or a sign that human beings could also be affected, but they might not be showing the disease simply because maybe they are consuming small amounts because they consume a variety of food, and also maybe they are consuming smaller amounts. But maybe they are being affected and the disease will show up in the chronic form. As we have said, dogs are more susceptible to aflatoxin, and one of the reasons why we discuss it also is because dogs are associated with raw hygiene. So you'll find that people will throw away or give dogs the food remains, which sometimes are even spoiled, thinking that they can take anything. Of course, they have a higher level of acceptance of such food, but aflatoxin-affected foods, they affect them very badly. So why are we so worried about aflatoxin? One of them is because it is thermostable. Whereas when you have microorganisms like bacteria or virus, if they affect the food and you boil it or you warm it or you heat it, you are likely to kill them. But with aflatoxin, the only thing it will kill is the mold or the fungi that is producing the toxin. But if the toxin has been produced, then its effect will continue to be seen. Another thing is that it is not easy to detect aflatoxin because it is colorless and odorless and tasteless. So you might even take food or consume food without knowing that it is affected. Of course, it has some small moldy smell and taste. But if you are not keen, or if you are mixing it with some spicy foods, you might miss it. Another reason that we are so concerned with aflatoxin is that its signs are normally seen after the toxin has already damaged the body and it has been excreted through the normal excretion system, like through the liver, like through the kidneys, and so on. And at this time, when you might want to test to confirm that it was aflatoxin, you might find that the batch of food that had the poison maybe has been exhausted. So you might not have samples to take to the lab to confirm, making it very difficult. Another reason that we are so scared of aflatoxin is that once the signs are seen, it is very difficult to treat, or treatment is limited because the damage has already been done. And aflatoxin is carcinogenic. That means it causes cancer. So it is something that we really should be scared of because of its signs. So what are the clinical signs of aflatoxicosis in dogs? Ordinarily, you'll find that dogs will consume the food that you give them. Very eager, they normally wait expectantly, they make a lot of noise, they jump around, they're waiting for the food to be given to them. And once they get the food, they consume it very fast. They normally clear the plate, and like other animals, like the cat, which normally leaves behind some food. So you'll find that the dogs, the food is good. But when it has aflatoxin, the dogs are able to detect somehow. So if you find the food is not eaten, and then you find the animal is dull and withdrawn and it looks sickly, you could be dealing with aflatoxin. In aflatoxin also, you can find the dogs vomiting blood or diarrheaing blood or urinating blood. And temperatures are normally normal, around that 8.3, or subnormal, that is below, like 36 or so forth. If you check the mucous membranes of the body, like the eyes, you will find that they are yellow or jodized. Even those ones of the mouth, any mucous membranes, you will find that they are yellowish. We call it jodized. That's a aflatoxicosis sign. And of course, you might find the animal dead. That is in the acute form of the disease. In the chronic form, the animal develops some water between its stomach and the body. We call it ascites. And if you try to bounce this water, you will confirm it is water. It is not gas or food material or a growth. You can see it. And if the animal is in a sitting position, you'll be able to see the sagging stomach. And that one can tell you it's aflatoxicosis. Of course, you might find the animal dead. At postmortem, the most significant sign is the liver, which turns yellow and it has a cooked appearance. Treatment, as I said, is limited. In acute case, you can use vomiting and also give charcoal tablets to absorb the poison. In chronic case, you can give furosemide to remove the water and vitamin E to assist the liver. The control is to make sure that you don't give dogs, any material that is contaminated with the fungi. Also store the food in a container that is not likely to get moisture, because moisture is another factor. If you are buying dog food, make sure that you see the quality signs of aflatoxin testing. It is tested against aflatoxin. And if your dog is in a sitting position, check to see the stomach, whether it is sagging. You can also look at its eyes and the mucous membranes to see that the dog has no aflatoxin signs, that is jodized. So aflatoxin is something that is to worry everybody. And the question is, who should be involved in control of aflatoxicosis? And this includes many stakeholders. This includes the animal owner. Check the food, store the food well, and the transporters of feeds, make sure they are not rained on during transportation. The store people, the traders, make sure that you store the food in a place where it cannot get moisture. Don't mix it with other products like fruits and all that rot and produce moisture. Store it separately in a cool place where there isn't a lot of moisture and the temperatures are favorable. Those who feed the dogs, if you see that they are not eating, please alert the owner. And of course, the regulatory agents, it is their duty to go around educating everybody on the need to have the dog feed that is produced from materials that are not contaminated with the fungi, and also to test to confirm that they are at the required level. Of course, the politicians, we really beseech them not to politicize aflatoxin. If there has been testing and confirmed that it is there, this is not something to joke with. You cannot afford to let that food go into the market. Of course, we have the animal welfare people. When such alerts come up, they should be able to highlight it, to create mass awareness, and even carry independent testing so that they can know what is happening. So this brings me to the end of this presentation. Once again, my name is Dr. Jacinta, and this channel is dedicated to agricultural extension, the past, present, and future issues in agriculture. And if you are new to this channel and you have not subscribed, please subscribe so that you can get alerts on many upcoming issues. Also share this presentation with others so that the message can reach as many people as possible. Otherwise, thank you for listening. I hope the presentation has been informative. Let's meet in the next presentation. Thank you.